like -4 minus 2i, the conjugate would be -4 plus 2i.
All right.
So which of these is it's different in the denominator by just the operator?
C, 2 plus I.
Got it. Perfect. All right. Any other questions before we move on to next grouping?
I don't think so.
Okay. Next three problems say to solve. You solve by undoing the operations, undoing the order of
Solve
operations.
each
So we're going back
linear
to,
equation.
you're gonna undo the -4 first. How do you undo subtraction by 4?
We have to add 4, right?
Okay. So 3x equals 12.
Mhm.
How do you undo multiplication by 3?
We divide by 3.
Exactly. So what does x equal?
X would equal 4,
Very
right?
good. Here's your final answer.
Okay.
All right, next problem's a little weird. It's a literal, kind of a literal equation. Literal. So first thing is we got to get the x's on the same side. So as odd as it may seem, I'm gonna move it left here. And this becomes ax minus 2x equals 5.
Mhm.
So let that sink in. Is that okay? You can't combine them because a and the 2 aren't the same.
Right. Could combine the x's though.
You cannot. They're
No?
not the same. Yeah. Like if it were 3x minus 2x, you could. This is where it's a
Okay.
little bit weird. You factor out the x,
Okay.
and you get a minus 2 equals 5.
Right.
This is multiplying. There's really a multiplication right here. So how do you undo the multiplication?
Division.
You divide both sides by a minus 2. What does that mean? Well, it doesn't mean anything. It just means
Right.
that's the answer. That's what
Means
that's
this.
what's meant by a literal equation. It's not numerical. It's
Right.
not a number. It's just a representation.
Okay.
All right. Let me know when you're ready to move on to 14.
All right. Okay. I'm ready.
All right, 14. So an absolute value equation. First thing you can do here is divide both sides by 2. And then we're going to split this apart. There's two cases. There's the positive case, x plus 2 equals 2, and the negative case, x plus 2 equals -2. Could you attempt to solve both of these for us, please?
Okay. Two. Two. You just get X for both sides? No, no, no. No, no. Messed up. Right. But you subtract 2 by both sides, and you're just left with X. Oh no, -2 and -2. There you go. That'd be -4. Right. I think so. Yeah, -4 and then X. Okay.
What did this become over here? 2 minus 2.
Hmm.
What did this become? 2 minus 2.
2 0?
Yes.
Oh, hold up. Okay. Okay. All right. 0 here. Okay. X 0. X equals -4. Okay. Have the work down. Right there.
Any questions on that?
Um, no.
All right, very good. So let's,
Actually, one question.
sure.
Why did we have a -2 for the right side?
Yeah, there's the positive case and the negative case.
Okay. Okay. Just gonna put that here. Okay.
Does that work?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so this is more current stuff, solving each quadratic equation. So you're trying to find two numbers that multiply to -10, but add to -3.
Let's see. It's negative.
So you got to
Let's
come
say
up with those two
seven.
numbers.
Let's say 7 and 10.
We've got to multiply to -10. So start with that one.
Multiply. 5 and 2. Yeah.
Okay, that only gets you to +10. One's got to be negative, one's got to be positive.
Right. I'm gonna say the 2 would be negative. Oh, the top one then. X = 5. 2, 0. Plus 0.
So go ahead and solve those for us, please.
Mhm. Okay, so I have X equals 5, and then X equals -2. I don't know if that's that accurate, but okay. Down here. Okay.
All right, is that good? Because that we got a bunch more to do.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, so the next one, 16, is solved kind of similarly well, I'm sorry, not similarly. We're first going to add 15 to both sides. So
Okay.
x squared equals 16.
Mhm.
And then to undo a square, you take a square root, but it's plus or minus. It's plus or minus the square root of 16. There's always two solutions. What is the square root of 16?
Square root of 16. Mm,
What number, when multiplied by itself, gets you to 16?
that would be 4.
4.
Right,
Again,
4.
I'm not anti-calculator, so if you need one, want to grab one,
Yeah, I
have at
have
it.
one here.
Cool. All right, get
Let me
that
see.
down. We'll move on
Yeah,
to 17.
right.
Okay. All right. So the next two are probably best done using quadratic formula. We're completing the square, but I'm gonna recommend quadratic formula. Have you seen that before? Did you see that in this section?
Maybe I have.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. So
Could
first
be.
thing you gotta identify is A, B, and C.
Okay.
Okay. A is the number in front of x squared. What number is in front of x squared?
1.
And what number is in front of x?
What number is front of x? Oh, 8. Yeah,
Okay. And what numbers is the constant?
4.
Okay. So now here is the quadratic formula. Minus b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Said you've seen that before?
Think so. Maybe
Maybe.
not the greatest, but
No, I'm not asking you to today, Josh. I get it. I just asked if you've seen this before. I don't want to go into a lot of explanation if I don't have to.
mhm,
So we're just using it. We're just putting the numbers in. Do you see how the equation has an A, B, and a C in it?
yeah.
So we're going to substitute those numbers. Minus 8 plus or minus square root of 8 squared minus 4 times 1 times 4 all over 2 times 1.
Mhm.
Now, the main thing that students struggle with is this part inside the square root. So I'd like you to calculate 8 squared minus 4 times 1 times 4 for me, please.
Okay. Over 2.
Yeah, but just the part, just the part inside the square root. Just give me that number.
Okay. Let me get the calculator out. Because my phone calculator won't be so good.
Yeah, don't use
Mm,
the phone. Use download like the Desmos graphing, or I'm sorry, calculator app is a good one.
Right. Here we go. Not what I needed. Here. Okay. Let's put in 8 here. Get a closer view. 8 squared. Okay. Squared. No, that's not parentheses. Okay, 48. That's what I got when I put the numbers in.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so let me show you off to the side here how you reduce the square root of 48. It's 2 and 24, 2 and 12, 2 and 6, 2 and 3. And if you remember, you circle pairs.
Right.
And for each pair, you bring one out. So you're going to bring a 2 and a 2 out. That's 4. And the 3 is going to stay inside. So it's minus 8 plus or minus 4 square root of 3 over 2. And then you divide each of these by 2. So it becomes negative 4 plus or minus 2 square root of 3. So I know I went through that quickly, but we've got a lot to do. So just get that down and we'll keep moving through this as best we can.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. So next question is another quadratic formula problem here. Um, can you identify A, B, and C just like we did in the previous problem?
1, 3, and 8.
Perfect. So I like to write the formula every time. By doing this, I never forget it. I mean, I would eventually, but if you keep writing stuff down, you tend to never
Right.
forget it. So again, I'd like you to calculate the part inside the square root, please.
Okay. Negative 32.
It's 9 minus 32. 9 minus 32. Try that one more time. You can just enter it exactly the way it's written.
Hmm. I put 3 squared minus 4, -4, and then 1 parentheses and 8 in parentheses.
But I mean, I'm telling you what it is, Josh. It's 9 minus 32. You just gotta commit to, and if you're using the Desmos calculator, you can enter it exactly the way it's written here. 3 squared minus 4 parentheses 1 parentheses 8. It will
I
give
don't
you the
know.
answer. So square root of negative 23 over 2.
Right.
Okay. Now, square root of negative 23 is the square root of -1 times 23, which becomes the square root of -1 times the square root of 23. Can you tell me what the square root of -1 is? That was something you would have seen in your notes for this chapter.
Right. Square root of 1. What was it again? I didn't hear you.
Are you seeing my screen?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, okay. I'm asking about this part right here, the square root of -1.
Okay.
That might have been in your notes.
Um, equals. Can't find my notes here.
Okay, so it is I, square root of -1 is
I.
I
Okay.
square root of 23. So this becomes -3 plus or minus I square root of 23. And then you're dividing each of these by 2. So that is your final answer.
Okay. Okay.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Equals.
So the next question here, looks like we're jumping to 22. Does that look right to you?
Yes.
Okay. Only asking because, you know,
Mm-hmm.
want to do what you want to do. You are the customer. All right. I to the 15th. So a couple things here. I to the power of 1 is I to the power of 2 is -1. These are like known things. I cubed is -I to the 4th is 1.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I was asking you earlier is, or just a few minutes ago, is like, is this in your notes? Is this something you remember from the from the class?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay if you don't, but it's important that you get this down. And then we'll talk about how to do this problem.
Okay. So then. Okay.
So now we're going to calculate I to the 5th. I to the 5th is really I to the 4th times I to the power of 1. And that's because the exponents add together to make 5. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
What is I to the power of 4 from our list?
Oh, 1.
It is 1. So this becomes just I,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Now I to the power of 6. That's I to the power of 4 times I squared. We just said that I to the power of 4 is 1.
1.
What is I to the power of 2?
That'd be -1.
-1. I to the 7th is I to the 4th times I cubed. I to the 4th is 1. I cubed is -I. I to the 8th is I to the 4th times I to the 4th, which is 1 times 1, which is 1. what do you notice about this column compared to this column?
Is that they look pretty similar.
What are there any differences?
Um, I don't see differences. I see
There's no difference.
I.
Yeah, there's no difference. So the simple answer here is that this I to the ninth, I to the 10th, I to the 11th, I to the 12th repeats. I to the 13th, I to the 14th, I to the 15th repeats.
Hmm.
So you're looking at, and this is not like the best way to do it, but it's the way we're going to do it, is you're looking at this row right here. So what is I to the 15th?
It's negative I.
There it is.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay.
Uh,
Right.
so, you know,
Paper.
they don't tell you this, but you switched from the real domain to the complex domain.
Mhm.
And there's actually a lot of differences in the rules. They don't really tell you, they just sort of sprinkle it in. Um,
Right.
it's like switching languages when you're reading the Bible.
Yeah,
You have to make sure you know
exactly.
what the meaning is, because like you read a word and you're like, is that what it means? Like,
Right. Right.
so different rules here. So let me know when you're ready to move on to 23. Sorry, I don't know if you needed more time to get that down, but you ought to at least have the first column down in your notes.
Mhm.
Okay, let me know. We can move on to 23.
Keep it on.
Okay. So first thing here is, if you recall, the when you have parentheses, you can drop them if there's a plus outside. You can drop them. But if there's a minus or if there's a number out in front, you have to distribute that in. Okay. So in the second one, you have a minus out in front, so you have to distribute that in. Can you tell me what this becomes when you distribute the negative into what's inside parentheses?
It would be negative 4
Okay.
and 8i because
Plus
both
8i,
cancel. Right.
positive. And then you just bring this down because there's nothing out in front. So 2 plus 7i.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Also
you
good.
combine like terms, like the 2 and the -4. And then you can combine the positive 7i and the positive 8i. So can you tell me what that becomes when you combine like terms, please?
Okay. That would be negative 6 and
Try again.
then
+2, -4.
oh,
Try again.
that'd be 2, right? Yeah, 2.
Try again.
Negative 2. Negative
Okay,
2.
-2.
And then 15. 15i squared.
15i. Nope. You're just adding them. It's like 7x plus 8x is 15x.
Okay.
You only square when you're multiplying.
Mhm. Okay.
Sound good?
15. Mhm.
Gets more difficult. That was the easy one. I mean, we'd like to do a bunch of ones like that, but we just don't have time for it. So,
Right.
all right. Let's see here. So this is a FOIL problem.
Okay.
Okay. So do you remember what the F stands for, or what to multiply? More importantly, with
First.
the F? Okay. So like the 6 times the 1, what does that become?
6.
And then the O is 6 times I, positive I, what does that become?
6i.
6i, just squeeze them together. -2i times 1, what does that become?
Negative 2i.
Good. And then the harder one here is the last, -2i times I.
Negative 2i squared.
Okay, and from our list earlier, what does I squared equal?
I squared equals negative 1.
Good. So this is 6 plus 6i minus 2i minus 2 times -1.
Mhm.
So you can combine these. You can figure out what this is, minus 2 times -1, and add it to the 6.
Okay.
So I'd like you to do that now for us, please.
Now, -2. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's see, add that. And then no, I, 2. Okay, let's see. So we have 6 and the -2 and -1 would be 2. And then with the 6, that would be 8.
I agreed.
And then the 6 and the -2, that would be -4i.
Try again. +6, -2.
That would be, oh, plus multiplication. What would that be? Let's see
You're welcome to use
here.
a calculator. You're just combining two numbers.
-4.
You already told me -4. I already said no,
All
that's
right,
not it.
gotcha.
+6, -2.
4.
4i.
Right there we go.
Okay. Let's get that down before we move to 25.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So 25, this is related to that very first problem that we worked on. We're going to multiply the top and the bottom by what's called the conjugate. Conjugate is 6 minus I. So the only thing that changes is the operator in the middle. That's the conjugate.
Okay.
They make it way too complicated in textbooks, which is all, that's all the changes. Okay. I want you to distribute the 3 to both on the top for me, please. Tell me what that becomes.
Fine. This would be uh 18 and then 18i.
You're multiplying both, though. There's really a 1 in front of the I.
One, okay, 18 3i. Yeah, 3i
Minus 3i. Okay.
minus 3.
Now on the bottom here, I'll FOIL. 36 minus 6i plus 6i minus I squared.
Okay.
All right. Now, do you agree that the minus 6i and the positive 6i, they cancel?
Mhm.
And it's because
Same.
they're opposite in sign. Now,
Right.
remind me, what is I squared?
I squared would be -1.
So this is really minus a -1. What does that become?
-1. -1 36.
Forget about the
Negative
36.
30.
I'm just asking about the minus a -1.
Oh, -1. Would be 1 since they cancel out.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're adding those together. That becomes 37 on the bottom. So it's 18 minus 3i. They're each divided by 37.
Mm-hmm. 7. Okay.
All right, is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yep.
number 26.
Okay.
All right, so do you see how there's a bunch of fractions here? There's a 1/2,
Mm-hmm.
there's a 3. You want to find the least common multiple of 2 and 3.
Right.
And the way to do it is to write them out until you see the first one that matches.
Okay.
That's one way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to multiply everything by 6.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to multiply the 1/2 z by 6,
Okay.
the 3z by 6,
By 6.
the 5/3z by 6,
Mm-hmm.
the 11 minus 11 by 6.
Okay. All right. Put that in. Be parentheses. BA. There we go. One. Two,
So tell
oh,
me the result here whenever you've got it.
hmm,
Maybe check as you go. That way we don't have any mistakes.
right. See. Plus. So when I would put in the equation, do I have to put 6 and then the parentheses plus 6 and then parentheses and so on?
I'm asking you to multiply 6 times 1/2. Like that's what I'm trying to get you to do. 6 times 1/2, 6 times
Okay.
3, 6 times 5/3, 6 times 11.
Hmm.
There's a number of ways to solve this. This is just my way of showing you, especially emphasizing getting rid of the fractions. Fractions we don't like. They're unfriendly.
I think this is wrong. I don't know if I put something wrong in. So
Let me give you the
try
answer.
to.
3z plus 18z equals 10z minus 66. Does that look at all like what you have?
So I put it in the calculator, whatever the decimals, and
It's
it gives me a caution or a
right, right.
error sign.
Computer does not understand the variables.
Okay.
So you have to do it. You're just the numbers. Like that's what I was trying to get you to see. You're multiplying those, and those. The
Mm-hmm.
z just comes along with it. Okay.
Okay.
What is 3z plus 18z?
BC was 18Z. 21Z.
Okay. Now I want you to move the 10z to the other side of equation. How do you do that? What math operation do you use? It's really positive.
Move on the other side. Switch around the variables.
Can't do that. Go back and look at what you did in problem 12. How did you move the number to the other side of the equation?
No problem 12.
Problem 12, yeah.
There we go.
You undid
Oh no, I
subtraction by
didn't.
4 by adding 4 to both sides.
Right, okay. So
So how do you undo addition of 10z?
we would have to minus 10.
Very
both
good.
sides, right?
All right, so tell me what the left side becomes.
2 and -10. That would be
21z minus 10z.
21. Z as well.
The answer, the z remains.
11Z. Yeah,
Yeah.
11Z.
Okay, good. Now how do you undo multiplication by 11?
Multiplication by 11.
Okay.
Uh, minus 11. Oh no,
I know
division. Division.
it's positive, so it stays positive. What does z equal?
That would be 6.
Try again.
66 divided by 11.
That
Oh,
is definitely
negative.
6. Yeah, but there's that
Negative 6.
tiny. Yeah.
There we go.
All right. Go ahead and get that down. We'll move on to the next.
It's before plus 4. 26, right? Okay.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So 27 here. First thing in this problem is you're not allowed to divide by 0. That's like the first math commandment. Thou shalt not divide by 0.
Okay.
So you said x minus 2 not equal to 0. X plus
Mm-hmm.
6 not equal to 0. Add 2, add 2. Subtract 6, subtract 6. So x cannot be 2 or -6.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Makes sense.
All right, now to solve this, we're going to cross multiply. That's the butterfly or the moth. You prefer moths. They look like it's their ugly butterflies. I don't know. Saw one on the golf course recently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is the result when you cross multiply. So what I would like you to do is distribute the 3 to both and the 8 to both and tell me the result, please.
Okay. Would be a okay, so it would be 3 plus
Try again?
18,
Nope.
right? No,
What's the number in front of the variable?
1.
So it can't just disappear. It's not a magic act.
Hmm. Before? No, no.
3 times 1,
3 times 1 would be 3.
and then you bring the x down.
Right, okay.
Okay, now do the
18.
next one, please.
Then we have 8x, and then -16.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, now you always move from the smaller side to the larger side. So
Mhm.
18 equals 5x minus 16.
Yeah.
And here's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to make this look more like the problem you did in number 12.
Mhm.
Go ahead and solve this from here. It's exactly like number 12.
Okay. Was 5. Okay. 4. We would have 5x equals 34,
Okay, looking good.
and then we would divide by 5.
Yeah.
And 5 divided by 34. 34 divided by 5 would be 6.8.
You got it. Good.
Okay.
All right. We'll do 28 next.
Mhm.
Okay. So first thing is you set the bottoms not equal to 0.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so x cannot be 0, subtract 1 from both sides, x cannot be -1.
Right. We would do the butterfly thing like we did last time, or the
Nope,
moth.
nope, nope.
No?
We're gonna actually combine the two fractions on the right.
Okay.
So they have the same bottom. So you just
Mhm.
add the tops.
Okay.
And then yes, we
Mm.
will do the butterfly thing again. But we should combine, we should combine the top.
Okay. 2
2 times x plus 1 equals 5 times x. So I want you to distribute that 2 into both, please.
2x and then 2
Plus 2.
plus 2 equals, okay. And then can we combine 2x and 5x?
We're going to subtract 2x from both sides.
Okay.
I want you to solve it from here. Give me the final answer for x, please.
Okay. X plus 2 equals 3. Or x plus 2 equals 3.
No, no, no. 5x minus 2x is 3x.
Right.
And
Oh,
the 2
2.
is 2 is left on the.
Okay. All right. And I think that would be it. I don't know if we could divide more.
Well, you got to get x by itself. It can be just an
X.
x.
Okay.
It's
So then we would have
like when
to,
you move out of an apartment or house, everything out, can't leave anything behind.
right.
So how do you undo the 3?
We would have to divide by 3.
Okay. And sometimes it just doesn't work out nicely. Meaning like when you go to a calculator, it's a repeating decimal, so you just leave it like that.
Mhm.
All right, we are going to work on one more problem, most likely, which I think is pretty good here. Okay, so if this were just an x, how would you undo the +1?
Subtract by 1.
Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to subtract 1 from both sides. What does the right side become?
3.
Now, very important, kind of off to the side again, is that earlier we learned that you undo a square with a square root, and you undo a square root with a square. So
Okay.
how do you undo the square root here?
Undo a square root with a square root.
Nope. You undo a square with a square root. You undo a
Oh,
square root with a
the square. Okay.
square. So you're going to square both sides. On the left, it becomes just 3x. What does the right side become?
That'd be 6.
Try again. It's 3 times 3.
Oh, 3 times 3 is 9.
Okay. How do you solve this from here?
We would divide no, yeah. We divide by 3
Divided by
on
3.
both sides. So 3 divided by 9. 9 divided by
There's your answer. All right,
3.
now I'm gonna quickly set up number 31 so you can get that down.
Mhm.
This one is also solved by cross multiplying.
Okay.
So we don't have enough time to do that, but get that down. 30 you can maybe find using an online calculator or something. But you're most of the way done here. So hopefully that is what you hope to accomplish for today.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to stop here. Do you think you're going to
Okay.
need any more lessons